Want to make a quick $100,000 in 12 months? This is the hidden impact of the new first home guarantee scheme, new price caps, released on the 1st of October 2025. That's right, guys. Want to make a quick 100 Gs in the next year? Because the mobs in Canberra, they just handed you the playbook. From the 1st of October 2025, Sydney buyers can spend up to $1.5 million, Melbourne up to $950,000, Brisbane up to $1 million, Adelaide up to $900,000, and Perth up to $850,000. And here's the kicker, guys, no income cap. After the 1st of October, you can earn any income and you can simply have 5% deposit and borrow 95% from the bank, no mortgage insurance, all paid by the in Canberra. Now guys, that's not just a helping hand, that's a cattle prod shoving first home buyers straight into the auctions. And what do I mean by that? In simple English, the are just sending a stampede of first home buyers into those price brackets that I just mentioned above, and where there's FOMO and low supply, property prices are set to explode. And I've talked about in my previous videos and numerous videos before, a property arbitrage is gonna be manufactured, but only if you seize the moment. So guys, here's what we're unpacking today in today's That Property Roast. Firstly, why these new price caps are just fuel for certain suburbs, and I'll definitely list those suburbs for you. Secondly, we're going to talk about Sydney and Melbourne examples where the price points are already hovering around the new limits. Thirdly, in this video, 8 suburbs in Brisbane, Adelaide and Perth where you could realistically gain 100k in quick gains within 12 months. And fourthly, guys, we're going to look at the data, the scientific data. According to Totality, or known as CoreLogic before, in their August data, we're going to look at vacancy rates and why the mid-sized capitals are leading. And in the fifth part of this video, I'm going to talk about client wins and losses, so you guys can see exactly how people are playing this. Because for me on this channel, I speak to hundreds and thousands of people per month who's trying to play the same game as you. And finally, guys, my roast of the whole charade that the doing in Canberra. I'm going to talk about how this policy is dressed up as affordability, but all it really is just it fattens the wallets of the banks and the sellers. So get ready, guys, put your seatbelts on, it's going to be a rough ride. Firstly, guys, the cap shock and why it matters, also known as the arbitrage window. So here's the deal, guys. From 1st of October 2025, Housing Australia is throwing the doors wide open. As of now, currently, before the 1st of October 2025, there's only 35,000 spots for this type of scheme. 95% borrowing with 5% deposit and the pay for the mortgage insurance. However, as I throw it on the screen right now, as of 1st of October 2025, there is no cap limit on the spots available. It's unlimited. It's free for all. So forget about the 35,000 spots. It's basically now available to the 28 million people in Australia at the moment. We have unlimited spots, no income caps, and way higher purchase limits. And the timing cannot be more insane. According to Totality, the HVI, which is a home value index, now this figure tracks the home values across Australia. The HVI in August rose by 0.7%. Now you might be thinking, Q, that's a really small percentage. But 0.7%, it's the biggest monthly rise since mid-2024. And across the national average in terms of annual values, it rose by 4.1% nationally, which means house prices across Australia are on an insane increase. In the August month alone, Brisbane in terms of average house prices rose by 1.2%, Perth by 1.1%, Adelaide by 0.9% in a single month. And as of 1st of September 2025, Sydney's house median prices sits at $1.52 million. That is a record peak, guys. Whilst if you look at Melbourne, right now the average median house prices is $956,000. Now compared to Sydney, that's kind of cheap. And according to Property Council, they've quoted, "This is about fairness, letting more Australians buy sooner," end quote. But to counter that, according to Insurance Council, quote, they said, actually, this could inflate prices by nearly 10% within a year, end quote. So here's what I'm trying to say, guys. This is the definition of arbitrage. You've got a small window where prices haven't fully digested the new caps, but the herd, the people, the bloody first home buyers that are hungry and foaming at the mouth for this 1st of October new change, this herd is forming. The demand is going to drive into the limited supply. So if you've been watching my other arbitrage videos, if you do happen to buy before 1st of October, you'll be literally surfing this wave. However, not financial advice, but if you buy after, you'll be basically paying for someone else's wave. And it's like catching a rocket while it's still on the launch pad. You either get strapped in early or you're actually the smoke trail burning underneath. So right now, guys, let's see the proof of concept in Sydney and Melbourne, where the cap lifts are already reshaping the battlefield. So in the second part of this video, we're going to look at Sydney's new house price cap under the First Home Guarantee Scheme. As of 1st of October 2025, it will be $1.5 billion. And I'm going to show you in this video how to make a quick 100 Gs in 12 months with these type of suburbs that you should look at. The target suburbs that you should look at, but not financial advice, is Condell Park, Guildford, Sefton, Chester Hill, Punchbowl, Greenacre, Granville, Lakemba, Auburn, and Marylands. And in this part, not financial advice, but I'm going to show how realistically how to make a quick 100 Gs in 12 months, not with magic, but just stacking the 3 levers the crowd usually ignores. Number 1, if you're out in the market right now, I want you to buy 3 to 5% below the market value. Number 2 is I want you guys to hunt for properties that are like between 1960s to 1980s. You know, those fibrous/brick boxes with the 550 to 700 square meters? I call those the upper fixers. And number 3, guys, I want you, while you're searching, look for property sales that's been on realestate.com or those listing websites for a long time, but still has no interest, but then be quick because there's got to be interest. Or homes on busy but not insane feeder roads, because that's where the discount comes in, right? Like, it's still rentable, but it's not ideal because it's kind of bloody noisy. And say, for example, those suburbs that you looked at, and you found it at $900,000. But say, for example, because of those 3 levers that I talked about just then, you secured it for $870K or $885K. Initially at settlement, you already banked 15 to 30K of equity, right? Now that is the first phase. Now let's move into the second phase. You put in the cosmetic value add. Like, what I mean is that you do the fresh paint, the floors, the lightings, the kitchen resurface, the bathroom refresh, a bit of landscaping, and a bit of privacy fencing that most of these upper fixers don't have. And then in phase 2, I want you to focus on an ROI target of 2 to 1. Let me give you an example. If you input 25 to 40K into this project, this small cosmetic renovation, I want you to aim for a capital added value of between $50,000 to $80,000. Obviously, this is not guaranteed, but when you think about it, it's kind of common sense that, you know, you bought it before, it's tired and rusty, but after you shined it up, and now it's a big contrast before and after, there would be a cosmetic lift in the capital growth. Now, say you did phase 1, you did your research, your due diligence, you found a property, and then you did phase 2, which is the cosmetic lift. Now we move on to phase 3. Now this part, you don't need to do anything. If you bought at the right time, you just simply ride the policy-driven demand. You simply ride the arbitrage lift. Now, breaking down numbers, not to be crazy, there may be a 4 to 6% uplift, because when you think about it, with the caps at $1.5 million, unlimited places right now, no income cap, and then you have all these first home buyers stretching harder into this property band range. On a 900K house, a 4 to 6% market move is around $36,000 to $54,000. So in summary, let me illustrate this on the screen. So right now, on phase 1 in this table, we have a $20,000 instant capital because you bought well. That's phase 1. You did your research well. Then on phase 2, we add in $60,000 of capital uplift from the renos, right? And then on phase 3, on this part of the section, there's a 45% uplift from the 4 to 6% arbitrage wave, right? So if you add all these figures together, that's a total of 125K headline equity gain in 12 months. And I know right now you must be crossing your arms and go, hey mate, not every deal will get that. Yes, I know that. Not every deal will do that. But if you study the mechanics, say you did phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, maybe you won't reach 125K ideal capital growth. But it beats doing nothing. Doing nothing, you get 0. Doing something like this, you might be in the middle, or maybe you're in the far end, maybe 90K, maybe 100K. Because this is how the arbitrage works, right? We have all the planets aligned. Price, new property price cap, influx of population increase due to immigration, and this policy, they all intersect. This is the moment where it explodes. Wow. And it's whether up to you, you want to seize this arbitrage moment. Now, right now in this video, I'm going to talk about why these pockets, those suburbs I've talked about, are overlooked. And why, if you're watching this video right now, it's your competitive edge. Number 1, guys, these suburbs I've mentioned, you know, some of them are Auburn, Lakemba, and you're like, ah man, those are yalla places, all the WRX, all the kebab joints. But guys, that is called a brand snobbery bias. What I mean by that is people chase the name suburbs. Like, for example, oh, I want to live in eastern suburbs, Maroubra, Bunurong Road, all the upper class white collar crap, right? But those people who are those first home buyers who are ignorant and pretty much snobby, they'll ignore these suburbs that I've talked about. Guildford, Sefton, Chester Hill, Lakemba. Because I agree with you guys, right? These suburbs, they're not Instagram cute, right? But the good thing, guys, is it's less competition. Unless you watch this video and are laser focused right now at the moment, right? So hopefully this video doesn't blow up and it doesn't go viral. Keep this video to yourself, guys. And number 2 reason why these suburbs overlook, they're older stock. They're not brand and spanky new, right? Due to buyer laziness, which is basically 90% of these noob first home buyers. Oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to fix it up. It's too hard. I'll buy the ready-made properties, the ones that are brand and spanky new, the ones that have been renovated. But they're buying into the premium prices. But I want you guys to buy the upper fixes, the one that looks ugly. I want you to buy the houses that are cosmetically tired. Because I don't know whether you guys know, those noob first home buyers, I speak to them every day, they can't visualize the finish line. They're the ones that will tap out during the search and go, oh man, I don't want to keep looking. I don't want to keep thinking how I'm going to upgrade this property. I just want to buy the finished product. Oh baby, buy the finished product. Spend the extra $50,000, $100,000. Just buy the finished product. And those are the guys that get sucked in at the end. Another aspect of why these properties are overlooked is also under another phenomenon that I call perceived stigma. For example, there's busy roads, there's mixed housing stock, there's Lebos everywhere. You know what I mean? I'm joking, I love Lebos. And some of those suburbs have industrials nearby, factories and all these ugly high fences that make my property look bad. Like what you guys see as those bad visuals, they translate to entry discounts. Those are the stuff you can fix with smart screening. For example, hedges, acoustic upgrades, internal layout tweaks. Another issue which will fall into your advantage after hearing this is that there's a thing called complexity fear. Some of these blocks in these suburbs that are priced at lower price points than, like, for example, what you buy it for, like some of these blocks might have easements or odd shapes, right? They might be on T-shapes or like battle axes, like odd shapes. But those people see the negatives. But you see, as an investor, these frontages may be perfect for off-street parking, dual living flow, or future granny flats. Enough about theory already, right? Let me show you what happens when you blink. This is a real client story, right? We have Ali. He's 32. He's a Sparky. His budget was between 900K to 950K. He had a pre-approval in hand. He then, with our help in terms of buyer's agents and also speaking to an independent financial advisor, shortlisted a property in Granville. For example, in terms of traits, it's walkable to Parramatta. It has a neat 3x1x1, which is 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and 1 car space. And it sits on a 575 meter square block. At the moment, it has a tiled kitchen, rough landscaping, and the agent guided price was 880K. In our 90-minute consult, which is the Platinum Portfolio Accelerator call, we mapped out the plan. If he bought this property, doing the phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 strategy, there will be a $30,000 injection in terms of cosmetic lift. This will likely bring a 2-to-1 capital growth, which means after the small renovation, he will likely get a $60,000 to $70,000 capital uplift. And then on top of that, he rides on the new cap demand, the arbitrage wave that I talked about. This was 2 months ago. Prior to auction day, he was offered by the agent to buy the property at $895,000, but he hesitated. Like, he was getting cold feet. It was his first time. He was a noob. He was really stressed about it. So what happened? He didn't do anything. On auction day, he also went and he also hesitated. Didn't make any offers. The property sold for $905,000. And 6 weeks later, a near identical rental grade that was around the corner, it got sold for $960K. And this was on private treaty. Now, under the new cap settings as of 1st of October 2025, and with all the rising clearances, that same stock will receive all these first home buyers' demand to push that price to maybe $1 to $1.1 million. I don't know, this is just my projection. Now, if you do the simple maths, if he had bought that property, as you can see from phase 1, if he had bought the property at $895,000 and say he waited 6 weeks, some other bloke bought it for $960K, right? Immediately during that 6 weeks, just by doing nothing before the cosmetic reno, due to market comparison, same property, right? The valuers will upgrade the price on the property that he should have bought. Again, not financial advice. $895. Another similar property got sold for $960K. There's an instant $55K capital growth due to comparison alone. And they're exactly the same property. And then you add in the cosmetic reno, and then you ride the arbitrage wave on top of the recent sales, which happened before the 1st of October. I said to Ali, that is your quick 100K capital growth. And mate, you freaking blew it. So my take on this, guys, is yes, this is a sad truth. Sydney's new pricing cap under the Housing Australia scheme, it isn't really making housing affordable. What it's actually doing is just dragging more battlers into the Western Sydney market, where right now $1 million is a new reserve price. So I'm telling you guys, if you're gonna play before the herd lands. And don't be like Ali the noob and freeze when you're getting cold feet. Now, thirdly, guys, Just to be quick, because I don't want to drag on this video, because I'm going to borrow the same elements I've talked about Sydney. Let's look at Melbourne. At the moment, the new property price cap as of 1st of October 2025 will be $950,000. And according to Domain, they said, quote, Melbourne is still undervalued compared to Sydney. The gap is the widest in the last 20 years, end quote. So these are the suburbs now that you can make a quick 100 Gs in 12 months. For example, I'll list it above here. The property prices right now for the houses over here are sitting between 800K to 890K. And at the moment, if you look at these suburbs, they're in a gentrification phase. So again, not financial advisor, not property advice. I'm just giving you my data and my own opinion from seeing what has been done before from previous clients. If you secure a property at these suburbs at the moment before the first home buyers with the extra firepower arrive, and by the way, don't worry, after 1st of October, there's going to be a 2 to 3 months wait because Housing Australia is really slow in processing their applications. So say you do it now until, for example, by November, December, and you did it right, and you did the phases that I talked about, for example, you did the cosmetic renos, you'll be in a steady position to ride this arbitrage rocket. Another few suburbs I want to mention is Sunshine, Braybrook, or Faulkner. These suburbs have a lot of brick veneers with tiled interiors at the moment, right? So for example, if you pumped in 25 to 40K renos, for example, simple paint jobs, kitchen renos, and bathrooms, this might easily get you a 60 to 80K uplift. And if you don't agree with me, jump in the comments and roast me. Just to drop a few more suburbs before I move to Queensland. Some of these suburbs in Victoria are also experiencing brand bias that I talked about in the Sydney suburbs, right? For example, Brighton, Kew, Toorak. Can't pronounce it, Toorak, I don't know. But you know what I'm talking about, right? Or other suburbs like Sunshine, Braybrook, they get dismissed as, oh, too migrant-y, too many Asians. That's actually a cheat code for underprice. Now, in this fourth part of the video, let's look at Queensland, as I mentioned before. Brisbane's new price cap or Queensland's new price cap is currently $1 million. I'm telling you guys, Queensland or Brisbane is more crazy because there's an upcoming Olympics. With the Olympics view, the new price cap shock, and all the population increase due to immigration, this is not arbitrage. This is super saiyan arbitrage, bloody Queensland. According to SQM research analysts, they said, quote, Brisbane is no longer the affordable capital city. The $1 million line is a new entry, guys, end quote. So in this part of the video, I'm going to list the suburbs where you can make a quick 100 Gs in 12 months. Again, I want you guys to apply the 3 levers theory, the different phase theories that I talked about in Sydney's property, and apply it to these suburbs over here. And I'll give examples. I'm going to throw it on the screen at the moment. We have suburbs like Capera, Tingalpal. Sorry, I'm really bad with pronunciation, but I know these suburbs because I had a few clients settling in these suburbs. Then we have Banyo. These suburbs were previously out of reach, but right now, due to new price caps, they became fair game for the new first home buyers. So for example, if you bought at 900 to 950K with a 4 to 6% arbitrage uplift, you can easily see a 40 to 55K capital growth without even touching a hammer. And if you look at the upcoming infrastructure, for example, in 2032, there's going to be the Olympics. We're going to see an influx, as you can see right now, new transportation, new stadiums, and new precinct project funnels that will be built around these ring suburbs, right? Like, for example, there's a suburb called Petrie. Like right now, it has this new USC campus or something, I heard from a client. Or Banyo, there's this upcoming airport and industrial corridors being built. These suburbs have these fundamentals that will compound the cap uplift. Like to give you another example, if you bought an older home like an upper fixer in Strathpine, Kalinga, and you throw simply a 30 to 40K cosmetic rental uplift, like recently I had a client did that like 6 months ago, we sent a valuer today. The value rose from 70 to 90K on top of what they bought the property for. And say after the 1st of October, because they bought 6 months ago, they arrived at arbitrage wave, they could easily see 100 to 120K in equity in year 1. And I'm telling you guys, that's not fantasy. That's just simple math plus market timing. Now moving to the fifth part of the video, let's talk about Adelaide and Perth. Now Adelaide first, their new price cap is $900,000. Target suburbs that you should look at is, for example, Salisbury. At the moment, it's around $600,000. Andrews Farm, around $550 to $650. Or Mawson Lakes, around $700,000. Findon, around $800,000. Seaton, around $850,000. And also, you can look at Woodville West, Plympton, and then like this other suburb, like Ascot Park. Look at that. That's around $850,000 at the moment. Now, just briefly, so I don't blow this video and you guys are complaining, Q, this video is too long. But, you know, a lot of my fans love my long videos. So why these suburbs are great? For example, you look at Salisbury, Andrews Farm. These are entry-level houses, still mid-600s. And their vacancy rate is still very tight. If you bought it as an investment property, you'll be renting out like hotcakes. And then if you move to the middle ring, for example, Mawson Lakes, Findon, Woodville West, with the transit plus the lifestyle corridors, these properties at the moment are sitting at $850,000, which is still within the new price cap. Now moving on to Perth, guys, not to forget you Perth peeps out there, my fans that are watching this, the new price cap is $850,000 at the moment under the new first home guarantee scheme as of 1st of October. And according to SQM research, they said, quote, listings in Perth are down at the moment, 50% on the 5-year average. So basically with no stop plus surging demand equals price break records, guys, end quote. So right now, let's look at the target suburbs that's under the new price cap. For example, you can look at Balcatta. Can't pronounce it, but I know where it is because my client bought there 2 months ago. It's around $800,000. Then we look at Morley. It's around $750,000. Then there's Nollamara, around $650,000. Then to list a few more that's on top of my head, like for example, Turret Hill, there's Inaloo, and lastly, there's Scarborough. And also Belmont. They have the airport, the river. It's basically underrated at the moment. So this is my take, guys. Perth used to have this cheap reputation, but that's long gone, guys. What I'm saying right now is East Coast cashed up buyers, they're flying in blind and overpaying at the moment. And right now with the policies adding an $850,000 cap on top with the new scheme, what do you think, guys? Boom. You're gonna get the most overheated market in the country in the next 3 months. So finally, guys, in this video, I'm going to talk about the final playbook rules that if you get nothing out of this video, you can go away and apply this to your own property strategy, right? This is the quickest way to make 100 G's in the next 12 months. So step 1, before the 1st of October, if you can, be the first mover, guys. In terms of Sydney, Granville, and Marylands, right now we can still find stock in the high 8s. And in the next 6 months or even 9 months, property that's around $950,000 will appear cheap. So if you don't secure now, it's going to be too late. And in terms of Melbourne, Sunshine and Reservoir are still hovering around under $900,000. And once the $950,000 cap bites, you're going to be shoulder to shoulder with the bloody first home buyers stretching an extra 100 to 150K. In terms of Brisbane, guys, Capara and Tingalpa right now are sitting under $950,000. And with the $1 million new price cap, even a 5% pop in terms of capital growth will mean $45,000 to $50,000 gains in a year. And as for Adelaide, if you aim at seller spree, at the moment it's still around $630,000. But with the new 900K ceiling, you'll be suddenly competing with buyers who suddenly have $270,000 more in borrowing power. And lastly, going back to Perth, if you focus on Belmont, again, not financial advice or property advice, but if you just took a look, 4 months ago, prices were around $780,000. Right now, it's already jumped $50,000. Imagine if you bought something at $810,000 now, in 12 months, maybe $910,000. So remember, guys, final tip, these first home buyer noobs, they will most likely cluster around these new price caps, right? So if you buy around this price cap and these properties that I mentioned and be secret about them, don't tell your mates, keep it to yourself, you might easily make a quick 100 G's while still stuck in your 9-to-5 treadmill job, living the rat race. So guys, this is my closing perspective. Here's the choice. You either stay bitter about the system. Oh, it's not fair. The policies allow more immigrants in. Oh, they're not building enough homes. Blah, blah, blah. You freaking bloody victim mindset people. You either stay bitter about the system and just complain, or you learn how to beat it. So if you guys agree with my suburb hit list and you want more info and you believe you have the right income, because right now there's no price caps, and you only have 5% deposit, plus you have enough money for the stamp duty, and you plan to seize the moment like Eminem seized the moment and capitalize on this arbitrage wave, I suggest you book a 50-minute strategy call or a 60-minute deep dive, a longer consult, or my brand new 90-minute Platinum Portfolio Accelerator call, where you get to speak to my expert roundtable of people, look at suburb strategies, and have a step-by-step execution plan. I suggest you go to the link and book it now. Because I'm telling you guys, I'm nearly booked out in September, and I've already spoken to hundreds of people who are already sending me documents to get their pre-approval to beat noobs like you. But yeah, guys, I'm just joking. I'm just trying to stir you up, right? Because I just want to give you a kick up the butt and do something. If you don't want to do anything yet and you just want to sit and wait, that's fine. Just hit a like on this video if you like this video. Hit a follow if you want more videos like this. And most importantly, smash the share button, even though I told you not to share this info to your mate. But you know, knowledge is power. Share this knowledge to your mate. Maybe this will be the best gift you ever given to them. Say, for example, they listen, they bought in those suburbs, and in 12 months' time, you give them a call. Hey, how did you go? Oh, mate, I just made 100 G's in capital growth. Woohoo! You're the best mate ever. Anyway, guys, I look forward to speaking to you and working with you. And until next time, I'll see you in another episode of That Property Roast.